Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Craft Parenting Podcast. Podcast about two Cincinnati craft beer lovers with a parenting problem. And this is episode 1 of volume 3.
Are we doing that? I thought we just did episode numbers. I didn't think we did volumes. Are we the gnome now?
Well, this is the third calendar year that we've been podcast. That was my point.
Ah, okay.
I mean, in the podcasting website that we pay to go to, that we pay to host our podcast on, they have a spot for volumes, so I've been using it. But I've been using continuous numbers.
Okay.
I don't know, that might change, who knows. But my name is Joe Ludwig, and with me is my lovely wife and co-host, Caroline. How's it going?
It's good. I'm on vacation, getting ready to move house, so it's not much of a vacation. We're moving from the west side to the west side, so at least we're not going too far.
We're actually moving further west.
Maybe the more west you go, the more east it gets. Like the more east you go, the more west it gets.
I don't think it works that way.
I don't think it works that way on the west side either.
I think you have to go east.
We're a little bit too hillbilly out here.
I don't know. Where do my cousins live in Indiana? Lake Hill? No, not Lake Hill.
Hidden Valley?
Hidden Valley.
Yeah.
Is that like East Sider?
I think those are just like Ohio wannabes. I mean, they used to live in Ohio, but
They did.
Then they moved because like taxes or something.
I don't know why they moved.
I don't know why either.
But we're just gonna chill and hang out. We have a crowler from Narrow Path. We'll talk about that.
A beer that you can't get anymore this season.
Yes, we'll talk a little bit about Narrow Path as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of their beers are kind of one and done, sort of.
But they're so tasty.
And then we're going to talk about our favorite Christmas memories with the kids and the family from the last month or so.
Spoilers, it's a good thing that we are moving house because the number of toys the children got dictates that we need a new house. We're attempting to get rid of things during the move, but then the kids notice the things that we're getting rid of, and we can't get rid of them anymore.
I don't know. There was a toy that I swear I packed. I think I brought it to your mom's house, actually.
Oh, no, that means it's just fair game for her to bring it back. That's what she does. So
she brought it back, and then 2 random books appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, and they're not the Imagination Library book that we got in the mail today, which I'm fine with the Imagination Library book. But just like I think we've packed half of the books by now. Between all of my books, your books, and the kids' books, I think that half of them are packed. It's going to take a while to move books.
So I don't think we're going to do the normal segments because we didn't prepare for that. So we'll just see what happens. And let us go ahead and get started right after this. Hey everyone, Joe Ludwig here with the one and only Caroline.
Hey!
Before we get to the main topic of today's episode, we wanted to pause briefly and tell you about how you can support the show.
So if you enjoy listening to the podcast and reading our blog posts every week, then you now have the opportunity to support the show through Buy Me a Coffee. Here's what you need to know. It's super easy to do. You don't have to set up an account to contribute. You have options. Send us a one-time donation or sign up as a member to contribute on a monthly or yearly basis. Plus, you can unlock exclusive content.
To learn more about how you can support the Craft Parenting Podcast through Buy Me a Coffee, click the link in the show notes. And now, back to the show. Let's talk about this beer.
Yeah. So we are currently drinking an Elf Magic Christmas Cookie Blonde Ale from Narrow Path Brewing. It is 7% ABV. And...
It's how many percents?
7%?
Fact check.
That's what Untapped says. Okay. The Untapped said 7%, but the Crowler says 5.2%. And Facebook says 5.2%.
Fact check. False. Misleading.
Oh, man. So this is a seasonal twist on our flagship, Trail Chaser Blonde. Not every Christmas beer needs to be dark and heavy. All the cinnamon, ginger, and molasses flavor of a Christmas cookie packed into an easy-drinking American blonde ale. So, it is very much a blonde ale, but I definitely get the cinnamon and molasses. And I am a huge fan.
It is very cinnamon forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about molasses. I mean, it's kind of caramely. Is
Yeah.
that what they mean by molasses?
And I do get a bit of the ginger as well.
There's a little bit of that. It's crisp. So when you're drinking it, it's kind of bubbly, I guess is the word. Crisp, bubbly.
Mm-hmm.
Not incredibly like a cider, but very similar. Not a cider, but a seltzer rather.
Are you on drugs? Why you're comparing this to a seltzer? It's a very delicious blonde beer.
The bubbles in a seltzer, I'm comparing it to. Like it's very bubbly and crisp. I guess it's kind of like a cider in that instance too. So it's very crisp. It doesn't taste how it looks for sure. Very different. I've never had a Christmas beer that was, pale, yellow, see-through.
I mean, it's nice that they're mixing things up. Because, I mean, you can change up what styles you make for different seasons. As long as you, do them right. And this is definitely doing it right.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this. But Narrow Path is in Loveland, Ohio.
Yes. It's very hard to get to from our side of town because it's, over the river and through the woods. And
I don't know if it's hard to get to it.
It's annoying to get to it. We're from Cincinnati. We will drive an hour to go to a store, but then if we have to drive 45 minutes to see a friend, we're it's forever away.
Store? What store are you going to that's an hour away?
I don't know. I'm making stuff up.
The outlet mall? Does that still exist?
Yeah, it's an exit north of where it used to be, though.
They moved the outlet mall?
They built a new outlet mall. Yes. Because Jefferson Outlets used to be a thing, and then I swear they moved. It's been a while since we've driven up to Columbus. But there's a outlet mall that's all zombie landified. And then the next exit, there's a nice outlet mall.
I've never been to either. I thought there was only one.
So, well, because the one that's zombie landified is the one that we used to meet my cousins and my aunt at when they lived in Columbus. It wasn't quite a halfway point, but there wasn't a whole lot up 71 to meet as a halfway point. So we would just meet there and go shopping together. And that would be a way to hang out without having to drive all the way over to their house.
Okay, then.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea why we're talking about outlet malls. But it's about 40 minutes away from where we live on the west side.
Mm-hmm.
Add another 15 minutes to the new house.
It's the same amount of time to get to the highway from the new house. So I don't think it'll add...
You don't think it'll add too much?
Too much time, but it will probably add some time.
Okay. Well, we're moving further west.
Mm-hmm.
So Narrow Path is a place that we've wanted to go. We've heard a lot about them.
We stared through the windows before they officially opened, longing to taste the deliciousness inside. That was weird.
That was a little weird. We think, we know that we went to the park right there in Loveland, downtown Loveland, I guess.
Nesbitt Park.
And we played Pokemon Go in February 2017.
Yeah, it was probably one of my top 10 Fitbit days for steps.
It was my number one Fitbit day.
Because we did an 8-mile hike. We did something else. And then we walked around Loveland, Pokemon going.
Yeah, and you were angry at me because we didn't eat dinner.
That would track.
Or we didn't plan for dinner, but we had graters. I remember that.
Yeah, we did stop and get ice cream, so that made it. But we walked to get ice cream.
We walked. Yeah, there's graters in Loveland, and we walked from the park to get graters, but we didn't get dinner.
But yeah, I mean, ice cream was dinner at that point, I guess. The kids aren't allowed to do that, but we can do that.
We didn't have kids back then. We went on an 8-mile hike in the mud, and I think we took a nap. I don't think we did anything after that.
I swear that day we never stopped. Because if we would have stopped, I would not have kept going.
Well, anyway, we went to Loveland, and the brewery is right by the path right there. That there's a path. There's a small path around the park, and then there's the bike path, which supposedly goes. Does it go to Columbus? It goes very far, like crazy far. You can go all the way up to, I think it's Columbus.
I will look it up on the Google. Because, there's a bike trail.
So, the brewery sits on the bike trail. I don't remember why we went over there, but we walked over, and I'm pretty sure that the lights were off, and we just looked in and said, hey, look, a brewery. Oh, no, they're closed.
Yeah.
Or they're coming soon. And I'm pretty sure they opened the following March, 2017. So we just missed them. But I think they were doing soft openings. So they had limited hours at that point. So this was their first time going to the brewery and drinking the beer, is the point. Very small brewery. So it reminded me a lot of Brink.
Yeah.
Brink is extremely tiny.
I would say that Narrow Path is a slightly smaller tap room.
Yeah, the tap room's a little bit smaller. I think they have a little bit more brewing space, but they have a really nice outdoor area.
Yeah.
Plus a seasonal food truck that kind of just lives there.
Mm-hmm.
The food truck, I thought I read recently, is closed during the winter.
Yeah, they're getting ready to close for a month or 2.
Yeah.
Or 3, which is crazy because we just had negative 30-degree weather, but it's 60 degrees outside right now. So we jumped about 100 degrees in the span of a week and a half, max. Oh yeah, you're not going to see Lily on the monitor because she's in the chair. But she's in the room. She didn't want to sleep in her bed.
She's coughing. Why is she coughing?
Probably because she's sleeping in the chair.
But extremely small brewery near a path. Very similar to Brink, except Brink doesn't have that. They kind of have an outdoor space, but Near Path has more outdoor space.
Mm-hmm.
Brink has a little bit more indoor space. Both breweries are heavily awarded with medals. We saw all the medals at Near Path.
Yeah. And I mean, the beer is really good too. But I wish it was closer.
But it's small batch, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they have their flagships, but most of their beer is extremely small batch. Once it's gone, it's gone. Sometimes they'll make a second batch, but other than that, they're a nano brewery, so they don't make a ton of beer in that regard.
Yeah. And they are right off the Little Miami Scenic Trail, which is that bike path that follows Little Miami River. It took me forever, but I found it.
Does it go to Dayton or Columbus?
I don't know because it's hard to follow. Miami Scenic.
There is a river that goes through Columbus. I don't know that it's the Little Miami, though.
You can get to Cedar Creek State Park, so that's more towards Dayton. I
thought there was a river by Dayton as well. Little Miami sounds like a Dayton thing versus a Columbus thing. The Scioto River is Columbus. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, the Scioto River.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, it goes to Yellow Springs and Springfield. So that's not quite.
It goes even more north than that. If you're a biker, yeah, you can get on that bike path and go to town. Just be careful.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're working on getting it more north. There are so many bike trails. Yeah, it goes from Kentucky through Loveland up north is what it's looking like. That's really cool.
Goes to Kentucky?
It goes to Kentucky. Yeah, it's a long one.
Holy cow.
At least that's what it's looking like. It's the Miami Valley. It's part of the Miami Valley Trails.
All right. So that's all about Narrow Path. Well, it's not all about Narrow Path.
It's a bit about Narrow Path.
But this beer is delicious.
It is, and I want more of it.
Yeah. Who was it lovingly canned by? Or what does it say?
This was lovingly packaged by Connor. So thank you, Connor.
It's very delicious.
Oh, there's a little bit more left in here. There's still more. You want more?
What, do you want more beer, or are we getting more beer?
Yes.
Okay, that's all yours then.
Oh, okay. This can looks so big in my hands, and then you hold it, and it looks like a baby can. Or am I supposed to say it looks like a ginormous can in your tiny hands? Because Marco says that your hands are tiny.
Yeah. My hands are not tiny, Marco. I will palm you and dunk you in the basketball hoop.
Shots fired. Pew, 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 pew.
So now we are going to talk about our Christmas vacation, or just December in general, really.
Yeah, at what point did we take a vacation in December? The kids got sick a few times. Made life a little difficult. My favorite was that time that Lily got a really, really bad cough, like 48 hours before your brother's wedding, where she was the one and only flower girl.
Yeah.
We made it through. She had a blast.
She got better, like, the next day. Like,
yeah, she was way better the next morning.
So I'm going to hit pause.
Okay.
Okay, hold that thought. All right, so we are back.
Boom.
So as previously mentioned, I cannot hear myself. Okay, that's a lot better.
I can hear you.
Okay, well, that's good. So as previously mentioned, we are going to talk about our favorite memories from the last month or so with the kids, with the family, all the craziness that ensued, because there's quite a list here.
Yeah. So as mentioned, Joe's brother's wedding. The kids were great. They did their jobs well. They tore up the dance floor.
What were their jobs?
So Lily was flower girl, and she was the only flower girl, and she killed it.
It's a big responsibility.
It is a very big responsibility, especially when you're 3. And then Elliot was one of 3 ring bearers who were all younger than Lily, and were very much a hot mess during rehearsal, but did a great job of running down the aisle during the ceremony. Lily did not want to get off the dance floor. She did not want to eat food. She wanted to drink Shirley Temples, and she wanted to dance and run around with her new friends, who I don't even know.
She even tried to upstage the bride and groom their first dance.
Yep, that tracks.
So my brother and his wife were, taking up the entire dance. They were dancing. I don't even know what they were dancing to. Sorry, you guys. But they were dancing, and it was beautiful. And then I think I have Elliot on my lap, and Lily is with my mom, the next table over, like 2 feet away. All of a sudden, she's like, I want to dance. And she runs onto the dance floor.
Because why can May dance, but she can't? It's just not fair.
So I'm like, Mom. And, they have the videographer going. They have the pictures going. So I'm like, I hand Elliot to someone, either you or my dad or my mom. And I run after her. She's just like having a good time, dancing in circles, la la la. And Josh and my brother and his wife are dancing. Everyone's trying to not to laugh at her. So I run after her, and I have to scoop her up. It was probably very dramatic, but
she loves the drama.
But yeah, she giggled. But I tried my very best not to steal the show, but there's only so much I can do when my daughter's in the middle of the dance floor.
She just...
And so I kind of scooped her up, and she was giggling like, Daddy, I want to dance. I'm like, not now.
Spin me, Daddy. Like, no, honey.
And so I tried my best to get it out of the way, but the DJ called out, quote, parents who aren't watching their kids.
I'm pretty sure Jenna was supposed to be watching the kids. So I play innocent. It was not my fault.
So I don't know which kid pissed off the DJ, but...
It was Elliot.
I think Elliot was going for the speakers on the stand.
No, he ran between the DJ booth and the wall. And so the DJ was like, please keep your kids away from the back of the DJ booth or the equipment. And I'm like, yeah, that was not our child.
I have a new beer.
You do have a new beer. What's your new beer?
This is the Westside Holiday Ale.
I'm pretty sure that's not what that's called. Westside Beside. There you go. That's the correct name of the brewery.
Holiday Ale. It is 6.4%, and the IBUs are 17. But they don't really matter, so.
Where the IBUs are made up, but the beer definitely matters.
So I've had every iteration of this beer, the Holiday Ale. And this is the smoothest I've ever had. This is my favorite iteration of it. I don't know if they changed the recipe or what, but this is friggin' delicious.
I know Colin likes to tweak recipes if he's not super happy about them. So he could potentially be doing that.
Yeah, so the west side, of course, is based in Westwood, which is down the street from us, where we currently live, at least. This beer looks darker as well than what I remember. And I feel like we just had the 2021 version in July.
We probably did because it was probably in the beer fridge. And somehow I have to...
We had the Christmas and... Yeah, that was our Christmas in July episode.
Yeah, so somehow we either have to drink or move our beer fridge in the next week and a half to 2 weeks.
We're going to move it. What are you talking about?
I was being dramatic.
You're being dramatic.
It was for dramatic effect. Though Julia did offer to help us with the beer fridge.
Matt offered too.
By drinking beer, yeah. Or accepting care packages of beer.
Hey, if anyone wants to come over and drink beer, have at it.
You just have to, so what you have to do is you have to move a cooler of beer and some boxes to the new house. And then you can drink a bunch of beer at the new house. Yeah, so moving on, we decided that we were going to get a beer vent calendar from Higher Gravity this year. We were going to take the plunge and try all the new beers.
We've never done anything like that before.
We have not.
I mean, I did. I used to search out holiday beer.
Yeah.
Like Westside, Great Lakes, that.
And like every other year, I would remember to buy a chocolate advent calendar, like St. Nick's Day. They'd be on sale, and I'd be like, oh, I was supposed to buy one of those like 10 days ago. And then I'd forget to eat the chocolate, and then I'd eat all the chocolate.
It was like a very small piece of chocolate, yeah.
Yeah. So we got the beer vent calendar. I'm very glad that I was correct, and we should share the beer every day, for the record.
I don't know if you were correct, but sure.
I mean, the weird German or European 11.2 ounce can was very sad. I wanted my other 0.8 ounces, but I was glad that we got to have those experiences together.
It was definitely a lot of work. It was a lot of fun, though. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people enjoyed the episodes. That they seem to be doing well.
And hopefully next year, with the kids being a little bit older, maybe bedtime will go a little more smoothly. And we'll be more likely to put out an episode a day. I am not making any promises, though.
Holy shit. Did you just put that out in the universe?
I am not making any promises. Elliot is refusing to sleep in his crib now and can climb out of it with mild ease.
If he's mad, he will climb out. Yes.
So.
He hasn't done it yet. I didn't let him do it.
He just got really, really close.
His leg was over the bar, yeah.
Sweet. Well, so Lily was able to get out of her pack and play. And then I made her forget that she could get out of her pack and play by not letting her get out of her pack and play like 3 nights in a row. And then she's like, Mom's not going to let me do this. I'm just going to sleep. And then she forgot that she could get out of it. It was very convenient. I don't think we're going to have that same luck with Elliot, though. He is very determined.
I mean, you gave him a climber for Christmas.
And how happy was he? And technically, I didn't give it to him. Your mom did. We're getting there.
Okay. So Higher Gravity Beer Vent Calendar. Just drinking, sitting down, drinking a beer, having that experience. We recorded it, but
we found out about a lot of different breweries that we didn't know existed. That was nice.
Yeah, I like that. I like the variety in it. Mm-hmm. As far as it was all craft, obviously, but or European, which those are basically craft, mm-hmm. right? Because they are mostly independently owned. But just trying new things. Relatively risk-free. Obviously, we paid money for it, but it's only one beer versus a 6-pack.
Yeah. Though I was recently listening to the episode that had the Untitled Art beer in it, and it was pretty funny how mad you were about that beer. I was like, I forgot how annoyed Joe was, and I was not that annoyed.
Well, about the Untitled beer, so don't at me.
Oh, I'm going to at you.
All complaints should go to
at Raging Hop on Twitter.
At Raging Hop on Twitter. They gave us the Mexican lager, non-alcoholic, and a lot of people in the beer group were like, "Why this one?" Like, apparently there's better non-alcoholic beers that specifically Untitled Art makes.
Maybe they got a deal on it. I don't know. Maybe we can interview Jason and sit him down and Hey, that is a live episode idea. Bam.
Live episode idea. Okay. Wait, what?
I don't know. It's at least an interview episode idea.
I don't foresee us ever like doing a live episode with them, but okay. But I was going to say, Marco, I understood the joke. Julia, I understood the joke. Okay. It was Festivus Day where we aired our grievances.
And Joe got to air a lot of grievances, which usually he doesn't do. He's a pretty easygoing guy. But apparently you get him talking and he doesn't stop talking.
Well, I understood the joke. Okay. Ha ha ha. Festivus Day, non-alcoholic beer. I didn't like, it's not that I didn't like it because it was non-alcoholic. I didn't like it because of the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Like it tasted bad to me.
And it did not taste bad to me, but we got two different palates.
However, I'm glad that I got to try a non-alcoholic beer. Like I know there's a lot of German beers. Like I think Paulaner has one. Or, Erlinger has one.
Yeah.
Like those are, I've heard really good things about them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe next year, if they are available, you could stick one of those in there and I may like it,
Yeah.
But I didn't like the flavor of the Mexican lager, non-alcoholic beer.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just cracked open another beer.
Oh yeah.
So I have the Great Lakes Brewing Christmas Ale, an ale with spices and honey. And like normally this is like one of my like top 3 Christmas beers. It is really tough to follow up anything with after the Elf Magic Cookie Blonde. Because I'm just like, maybe it's just because it's a totally different style. I've only given it 1 sip. I for sure need to give it 3 sips before I make any kind of super judgment.
The Elf cookie was just cinnamon.
I thought it was really yummy.
Oh, it was very yummy. The Great Lakes is well balanced, I would say, as far as the spices go.
I think it's just the base. I got to get used to the base because I'm going from a blonde to something a lot darker. I'm still getting all those spices, but the base is different, and that's kind of throwing me for a loop at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's each of those beers are exactly the way they want them to be, and they're kind of different.
Yeah,
they have different approaches.
Faux show. So, next on our list was my extended family Christmas party, which we haven't been to for years, but we went because we finally got all of the information on when and where it was. We tied people down and made them tell us. Mm-hmm. And the kids had a blast. They ran around this church basement for like 2 hours, running after kids that they don't know and have never met before, playing with water fountain because that was the coolest toy ever. And then Santa showed up.
And they got sick because of the water fountain.
And Lily was about to cry tears of joy. She was so excited to see Santa. It was adorable and amazing. Elliot was not impressed and mildly terrified.
He didn't cry, though.
He did not cry, but we also did not try to force him to take a picture with Santa. Because I know better. Wow. He does not have to do something that he does not want to do within reason. But he did enjoy his present of blocks from Santa. And that's all Lily talked about for like 2 days.
Foam blocks,
yes.
Not the alcoholic blocks.
Yes, foam blocks, not blocks, spiked, frozen, mixer additive.
Which we still have 2.
We do.
In the freezer.
I am not bloxing this beer, though.
No, do not blocks this beer. That's like a summer thing.
Yeah. Ooh, that'll be so good on the new porch.
Deck.
I'm excited. Deck. Sorry. It's very confusing. There's porches and patios and decks.
It's not confusing at all.
Okay, patios and porches / decks. There's very big difference. But a porch and a deck to me are very interchangeable.
A porch is like the front porch.
Okay, so it's the front porch and the back deck.
And then the back patio.
And the back patio.
Yes.
So is a porch poured? Or is a porch wood? Or can a porch be either?
I consider a porch to be poured. Concrete.
Okay, so what happens if we have a wood entertainment space in the front yard attached to the house? Is that a porch or a deck? Have I broken you?
Maybe.
So, partially because of moving on.
I haven't seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that one place, actually.
Yeah. So,
which I think is what you're referencing.
Yes. So, we had to deal with a preschool plague since before Halloween.
I would say off and on.
It was definitely off and on, but
Halloween it was on. Thanksgiving it was off.
Your brother's wedding, it was becoming questionable.
It's mostly off.
Yeah.
No fever.
Then they were fine the week after the wedding, which to me was surprising. Everybody else was not. Our kids were fine. And then either my big family Christmas party or the wedding finally catching up with the kids, they did get a little sick again. But not much.
Did they get a fever? I guess.
They did, because Lily had to go to the doctor and get an antibiotic and get
that's right.
Get an inhaler. And almost went to urgent care like 3 times.
That's right. I kind of blocked that out.
Yeah. Well, you weren't the one that was sleeping in her room with her.
I totally was. What are you talking about? I think I got sick and I was sleeping in her room.
I was sleeping in her bed. I got 2 bad nights of sleep because I was sleeping in her bed with her.
We slept on her pillow bed. I slept on someone's pillow bed. I always slept.
We took turns sleeping in Elliot's room because he kept waking up in the middle of the night when he got sick. But we have all survived the preschool plague. Hopefully our immune systems are stronger for it. And when Lily goes to actual school.
I have a cough again. I don't know it's probably.
It's the weather. Because I got a scratchy throat, but again,
it's like deep in my chest, though.
Excuse me. Oh, mine is just definitely in my throat.
I've never had a cough like this before in a very long time.
But Lily missed some school.
But she missed her concert.
She missed the Christmas concert, but she got to attend the Christmas parties at school. And yes, it was parties, because her class is a mix of kids that are there 5 days a week and kids that are there a few days a week. So they have parties 2 days, so the kids that are there a few days a week can attend them.
But they didn't do that for the Halloween part. Maybe they did. Halloween?
They did. She had 2 days. She would have had to go to school in her Halloween costume 2 days in a row.
But she was out that entire week.
She was out that whole week, so she missed it all. Poor kid. She doesn't know what she missed, so it's fine. But then Lily had her preschool parties, and your mom gave us the gift of watching the children overnight in the middle of the week. Mostly to benefit her, but it also benefited us, and we managed to have a date night.
And that's why we went to Narrowpath.
Yep.
And we got to visit. It's technically brewery number 10.
Yes. That sounds right.
And then brewery number 12 was...
11.
Oh, sorry. Brewery number 11 was Mason Warped Wing.
Yeah, because we never made it to 12 because we got distracted. We got food from their food truck. We hung out in one of the igloos for a little bit.
At Narrowpath. Yeah.
At Narrowpath.
I derailed us.
Yeah, and then finished the night in the brewery. Unfortunately, they close at like 9 during the week.
Yeah.
And we wanted to. We weren't going to stay later anyway because we still had to drive home and we both had to work the next day. But I ran into an old friend there, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to stay here all night." And I'm like, "Well, they close at like 9," and they're like, "Oh." we'll have to find somewhere else to go after this, I guess. But it was really delicious.
It's not like they were kicking us out, though.
No, they were not kicking us out.
But I don't think they would have sold us beer.
Yeah.
And I went up to the bar and I said, I would like a to-go beer. And she's like, let me get you a Dora cup. Like,
and you're like, oh, wait.
Stop.
Crowler.
So I'm learning because we went to a different brewery in Chillicothe, Ohio. Yeah. And we had the same issue, but they didn't ask us to clarify. They just
started pouring the Dora cup.
They started pouring the Dora cup.
And I'm like, oh no, we need to go home. The kids are about to melt down. Abort.
So I've learned that I need to specify Crowler.
Yes.
Please. Not Dora.
Yeah. So
unless I am in fact Doring.
Yeah. Hopefully we will do more Dora-ing this summer. That would be lots of fun. But we managed to make it home and pick the kids up the next day before the White Death came.
It was actually the White Death, too.
It was real bad. So we got a huge snowstorm and everything was shut down. Well, lots of things were shut down. My work was not shut down. So I went to work in a level 2 snow emergency on December 23rd. So your family decided to cancel their Christmas party or postpone it, which was a good call.
On December 22nd.
Yeah, because that's when all the weather hit.
So just for people who don't live here, what happened was there was a bunch of rain. It was like 40 degrees.
Yeah, and they couldn't treat the roads because there was a bunch of rain.
And then there was like this, was it
a super cold front came through.
A super cold front came through. And it went from 40 degrees to...
It was 6 degrees.
6 degrees.
And not 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. No, 6 degrees Fahrenheit outside.
Within a couple hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was lots of rain, and then they called it a flash freeze.
Yeah, and like
So everything froze very quickly.
Yes.
And then it started to snow because the rain kept coming.
Yes, when I went to start up your car the next morning, I had to butt bounce the door a few times so I could crack the ice so I could get the door open. I almost put the scraper in the garage the night before so I could at least like attempt to scrape the ice off. And I was like, if I can't get into the car, I'm just going to stay home.
In a new house, we won't have to do that.
No, we'll be able to park in the garage.
We have to be careful about where we put the keys because someone likes to push buttons on my...
Yeah, so we're actually using the remote starts on our car because it was so cold and so icy outside. And then one morning as I'm getting ready, I have this habit of like looking out the window way more frequently than I should. I don't know why. But I'm getting ready. Or I guess this is when I got home from work. I don't know. I was home. I was looking out the window way more than I should. I look out the window and Joe's lights are on in his car. And I'm like, I turned the car off when I got out of it, right? And I'm like, no, I brought the key in because it's a physical key. I can't just, it's not like keyless entry because the keys are in my purse. I don't like it, but I'm not buying you a new car.
There's nothing wrong with my car.
And then I remembered that Lily's downstairs and I had seen Joe's keys on the counter. Well, I come downstairs and Joe's keys are like on the edge of the counter. And I'm like, hey, Joe, was Lily messing with your keys? He was like, yeah. I was like, well, she started your car. So I'm going to go turn that off now. And he's like, we can't even figure out how to get the remote start to work 3/4 of the time. Like, well, Lily's going to teach us one day.
Yeah, it was through like 2 walls.
Yeah. So fortunately I noticed that, or we might have tried to start Joe's car and been like, wait, it's not starting. What's wrong with it? oh, it has no gas because it's been running all night.
So we bought the car used, gently used, and it came with a third-party remote to start.
Yeah, which is very finicky, and I'm not a huge fan of. But we survived the White Death.
I don't know how to remove it either.
I don't either. We had a very white Christmas. We drove to Joe's parents' house in a still level 2 snow emergency for Christmas Eve. They finally bumped it down to like a level 1 or no level.
It was mostly
at some point.
It was mostly okay. It was just Harrison. Harrison is very windy.
Yeah.
But flat.
Yeah. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was. The roads were not as treated as you would want to see because it was so cold outside that it was hard to treat stuff because some stuff only works in certain temperature ranges.
The wind chill was crazy, like -30.
It was so cold. And all Lily wanted to do was go play in the snow. And I'm like, baby, it's too cold. We can't hang out outside.
Yeah, she was too little for that. I did see videos of parents of her friends with kids outside. I'm like, what are you doing? But they were very old. Like 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, older kids, it's fine because you can convince them to keep their gloves on. The first thing our kids do is pull their gloves off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, your little fingers are going to freeze off. And, well, they pull their gloves off, and then they stick their hands in their mouth. So then their hands are all wet, which only makes them colder. And I'm like,
Don't spill your beer.
I'm not going to spill my beer. But so, and then amidst all of this, we're starting to pack the house to get ready for the move. So like we have a Christmas tree up with lights, but we have the only ornaments we have on it are ones that Lily has made at preschool this year. All of the other ornaments are packed up. But somehow through all of that, we managed to bake some cookies. So Joe and Lily made a batch of cookies.
We were pretty much stuck.
Yeah. I mean, we couldn't really go anywhere anyway.
I mean, you went to work, but we were pretty much stuck.
Yeah. Lily and myself made a batch of pressed cookies. And fortunately, before we started to make the dough, I was like, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get the supplies that I need. I'm going to get my cookie press. And then I was like, oh, that's right. I packed my cookie press like a week ago because I didn't think that I would have time to make Christmas cookies before Christmas because I didn't know it was going to get so ridiculous outside. So Lily and myself still made the dough, but then we brought it to my mom's house Christmas Day, and we used Mom's cookie press to make cookies on Christmas Day. So that was nice. Lily enjoyed helping dump all of the ingredients and telling me that I made mistakes.
Yes.
Because I accidentally flung the shortening.
You told her that you made a mistake.
I was like, oh no, Mommy made a mistake. We got to clean it up. It's okay. And then I accidentally spilled some vanilla. And she was like, and I think I said like it was a big mistake, but it's okay because I can clean it up. So it's fine. Because like the shortening tried to go like inside my mixer. And it would have been a little hard to clean. It's just lubrication. It's fine. And then I spilled a little bit of vanilla. And Lily was like, Mommy, you made a big mistake. I'm like, no, Lily, it's just a little mistake. And we can clean it up. See, hey, look, everything's fine. And then I think I like spilled some milk. Mommy, you made a big mistake. No, Lily, it's not a big mistake. It's just a little mistake. It's fine. I understand we're learning the nuances of language, but can we stop saying that everything is a big mistake? You're really affecting Mommy's self-esteem.
She's good at uplifting self-esteem too, because she is. She goes, "Oh, good job."
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, she says that too. And then she says, "Are you sure?" Because we ask her, "Are you sure?" a lot.
Yeah. Like, hey, Lily, do you have to do this thing? No. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. And so then she asks us if we say no. She's like, are you sure? Yes, Lily, Mommy's sure. She does not want you to shove this thing in her face. Are you sure? Yes, Mommy. Yes, Lily, Mommy is very sure. Please stop.
She mimics us.
Yeah. But I forgot a thing with your parents' house. Santa, quote unquote, came to visit. And Lily's very smart and observant. And about 3/4 of the way through Santa's visit, she noticed that Josh was not there. And that Josh magically appeared soon after Santa left.
She noticed that?
A little bit.
Oh, God.
But we used to have Opa Claus. But apparently Opa Claus retired. So I don't know what uncle is in German.
Tante is aunt.
Yeah.
I think uncle is just uncle.
Probably.
Basically.
So now we have Uncle Claus. But again, she was super excited to see him. She had like the biggest smile on her face the whole time. Gave him a huge hug. And then Elliot again was like, nope, not going to do it.
He cried.
Yeah,
everyone was a little bit more forceful on him.
And I was like, no, like I will hold him over here, but he can do whatever he wants to do. I am not making him sit in this situation if he does not want to.
Yeah, he did not like Santa Claus.
No.
Or Uncle Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else is on this list? So we watch... The kids do get screen time.
Especially when you're stuck in the house and literally can't go anywhere.
Yeah, and when they're sick, too.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to make it relevant to the season. So we watch Frosty, we watch Charlie Brown, Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, YouTube does not have available, quote, quote, Sesame Street, Christmas Eve on Sesame Street, the 1978 special.
It's an oldie.
So that's like the original, Sesame Street Christmas special. We were listening to a podcast about Star Wars recently.
Mm-hmm.
I remember painting this room actually, listening to it. And they were talking about the Star Wars Christmas episode. And the Christmas special, Star Wars Christmas special, which came out right around this time, 1978.
Yeah. Out of the two Christmas specials, Sesame Street is by far much better.
But they were talking about the history, and in the 70s, everyone had a Christmas special. That was the thing.
I think everybody released a Christmas album too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you got people that have no business releasing a Christmas album that have Christmas albums in that time period.
Yeah. So Christmas specials in the late 70s, that was a really big thing. Even if they were like the LSD trips that make 0 sense. Star Wars. So we it's on YouTube, and we watch it, and the first 20 minutes is credits. Star Wars also was destroyed that trend.
Mm-hmm.
Because back in the day, all movies had the credits at the beginning of the movie. That was a union requirement.
Yes, it was.
And George Lucas was like, fuck that shit.
Can you say that on your own podcast?
I don't know. How do
You'll find out.
The editor will let me know. But George Lucas was like, fuck that shit. I'm not putting credits in front of my movie.
Mm-hmm.
So he destroyed that trend. I guess it caught on, but the Sesame Street Christmas special, 1978, it's just the characters ice skating for 20 minutes to music and credits.
Specifically, Feliz Navidad for a major portion of it.
Yeah.
And now all Lily wants to do is ice skate, quote unquote, in the kitchen to, quote, my song.
She loves that song so much.
So we finish eating dinner and she's like, Daddy, play my song. And I'm like, well, here, bring Mommy her phone and Mommy will play you your song on her phone. And then, so I turn on the Bluetooth speaker, I play Feliz Navidad, and then I pick a different song to play. And then we get like 30 seconds through the song. Lily picks up the speaker and starts shaking it because she doesn't know how to change the song. It's like, no, I want my song. And I'm like, well, this is what the speaker's playing. Let's give it another 30 seconds. So we're not listening to it on repeat. But that's like all she wants to do is skate around the kitchen.
And she's very bossy. Although I'm not supposed to say the word bossy.
No, she knows what she wants and how to articulate it.
She says, Daddy, you sing. And I'm like, I don't know Spanish. I want to wish you a Merry like, Mommy, you sing. Sing it, Mommy.
And she's getting very vocal on what song she likes and what song she doesn't.
Yeah.
I like this song. Though, we also have to be careful about what we start playing in the car because I was cruising through channels yesterday. Or Sunday. Sunday was not yesterday. So yeah, Sunday. And the ABCD song by that chick comes on that's popular where it's ABCDEFU. And I start singing along with it because I like that song. And then I just hear Lily's voice in the back going ABCD, and I'm like, oh no, EFGH. Oh boy, shoo. Okay, can't play this song anymore. Got it. And then we sang the alphabet like 3 times in a row.
Yeah, her mind is a sponge, and it is hilarious and kind of scary.
Yeah,
at the same time.
A little bit. And then untraditionally, at least since we got zoo passes, we only made it to the Festival of Lights one time this year. Mostly due to the fact that like the kids got sick a bunch. So, because usually we try to go very early in the season, and the kids weren't feeling great. And then we got really busy with the wedding, and then the kids weren't feeling great again. We finally managed to go between Christmas and New Year's, and the kids had a blast.
They were tired.
They were tired.
They didn't. I don't think Elliot even napped.
I think Elliot had a short nap, and Lily was no nap Lily and did not nap in the van on the way to the zoo. But we got to sit in like the very front of the train, and Lily was like, "Oh my goodness!"
And the new train, it's like solar powered or something.
Yes, the new electric solar powered train that makes fake train noises that I don't know how I feel about. Because like you can tell it's a speaker, and I'm like, but train. But definitely better for the environment overall. And now they actually like drive the train. What
is
speed?
it though?
I don't know, but now they actually drive the train what speed they're supposed to drive the train.
It seems very slow.
It is very slow. But it means more time with the kids on the train. It also means you wait a little bit longer in the line for the train. But the kids get to see more stuff because we're not going down at like 10 miles an hour instead of 3 miles an hour that you're supposed to be going. So yeah, we got to go to the Festival of Lights. We didn't get to see everything that we wanted to see, but we got to see everything that we like needed to see. And hopefully next year I'll be able to go more than once.
We had to stop for dinner though.
We did have to stop for dinner.
Because no nap Lily.
Yes.
And we knew that she was going to fall asleep in the car.
And she did.
She fell asleep like as I was transferring her from
the stroller
to her car seat.
Yeah.
Like she was just like, she was like kind of.
She was.
Didn't someone comment on them? Like,
oh yeah, somebody said like they're about to fall asleep, like they're sleeping or like they're about to be like they're exhausted, something like that. But yeah, so Lily had a lot of fun, and we got to sing one of Lily's favorite songs. I don't know, she likes most of the songs. But she loves singing "I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas" just randomly.
Yeah, it was when you were at work and your mom was here and your mom was listening to like 700 WLW or something. And out of nowhere, Lily just started singing, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. It was the cutest thing ever. And then she went on to her gibberish about the lyrics or whatever.
Yeah. She's figuring it out.
But I couldn't get it on tape or video because that was it. Like, she just stopped singing and then she started singing something else. So it was just very random and very funny. But I couldn't get it on video, unfortunately.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. I'm prompted hippopotamus for Christmas. We did a couple other things during the week between Christmas and New Year's. We tried to do as much as we could with the kids. We did the entertainment junction.
Yep.
Is that what it's called?
That is what it is called.
I've never been here before, but it's in Westchester. And it's a building, a huge like warehouse building.
Yes.
It's just dedicated to model trains.
Yep, and it's volunteer based. There was a sign on one of the train displays in the just straight Christmas thing that said, "Only push this button once, or this dude is gonna just pick up his trains and take them all home." To try to like discourage people from just hitting the button like 30 times in a row to start the train set.
Yeah, so it's like a huge displays, like mountains, villages, people, miniature buildings, like specific to different time periods.
Yeah.
You
like
know,
they make it historical-ish too.
Yeah, so there's a section like dedicated to like the 1800s, the late 1800s, 1900s, all the way up to present day. And then of course there's the Christmas train. There's lighting, which dims to signify, dusk, and it's on a timer, and then it goes to daylight. And then there's an entire miniature Coney Island.
Yep.
Which I didn't quite understand if they meant like Coney Island, Cincinnati, or Coney Island, New York.
I'm still not sure.
It wasn't really clear on the display, but it was cool. I mean, they had like a roller coaster and Ferris wheel. All of it moved.
Yep.
It's all wired, but like you said, they have buttons. They make it interactive. You push the button and the Ferris wheel moves, for example. Further on, there were, there's the continuous train sets, and then there's the train sets that are model train sets that are operated by a button. It's like this operates the train
closest to you.
To the closest to you.
So it makes it so you can make the train go versus the train always going back and forth.
Yeah, so it just goes back and forth, maybe 20 feet or whatever, 10 feet. And Elliot loves trains. Like, his pastime is watching YouTube videos of trains. And his mind broke.
People that didn't know Elliot said he looks broken.
Yeah, so we went in the morning, so he was all ready to go. He naps in the afternoon, so he wasn't tired or anything, but you could tell he was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then right in the middle of it, they have this like play area. You can climb up. It's like an
indoor climber. They
like
have
a Chuck E. Cheese, I guess, or
McDonald's,
or I don't know.
Some little trains you can play with, a play set. Like an outdoor play set, similar to what we have at home.
But inside, yeah. And then like displays like behind glass of like collector's items like Thomas the Tank Engine. Mm-hmm. Just like an entire wall of collector's items.
Yeah.
Of like Thomas the Train. Just amazing place. Elliot was like, whoa.
He was like, train.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. Choo choo. Meanwhile, Lily's just like running around the place that like, this is the best.
Yeah, she's not into trains as much. She was into trains, I remember, for her second birthday because we went to Taft's.
Yes. And we saw a train and she's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we saw a train as we were leaving. And she was like, train.
Yeah.
And then she just kind of was like, I'm into other things now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Elliot is like hardcore trains and dinosaurs and planes. I gotta see if I can find the meme.
Yeah, because we currently live under a flight path at CVG, and we just get planes constantly over our house. And he just loves looking at them.
Yeah. So it's men will turn 4 and base their whole personality off of one of these. And it's dinosaurs, dozers, semi-trucks, or spaceships. Elliot is definitely into like dinosaurs and trains right now. And planes.
What's a dozer?
Like an earth mover, a construction equipment. The thing that pushes stuff around.
Oh.
That's a dozer.
So you're confusing him because you got him, or Santa got him, a dump truck, like a life-size dump truck.
Santa did get him a life-size dump truck. I saw it and I was like, he needs this. And actually, I think that technically was from us.
I can't even keep track.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point.
But yeah, you're just confusing him because there's a show called Dinosaur Train, and I feel like, you know, these days we get
Focus groups.
No, AI is starting to write things. It's actually kind of scary. They're like writing articles, like very basic articles about like weather.
Mm-hmm.
But this show, Dinosaur Train, it feels like an AI wrote it. Like they took the internet and they said, AI bot, what do 2-year-old boys want to watch? And the bot just searched all the internet, all the searches of what everyone did. And the keywords were dinosaur and train.
And they just mushed them together.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what it feels like what this show is. I'm sure I know for a fact that it was written by humans. It just feels like they asked, or they did an SEO search. 2-year-old, dinosaur or trains?
Yeah.
Like they did like a bunch of research about what do 2-year-old boys like? Dinosaurs, trains. Let's push it together.
His second birthday probably is going to be two, partially because your mom got him a shirt that says that, and partially because
where is that?
It is in the basement in a garbage bag with all of their other Christmas presents from your mom's house.
I can't see it down there.
I know exactly where it is.
Okay.
It is part of the stack of stuff that I'm going to go through tomorrow.
Cool. Is there anything else on the list?
Drinking with the gnome and Julia.
Wow.
So for Christmas, Joe's brother and sister-in-law got us, we will watch the kids one night for you. And we said, score, we are going to cash this in before you can change your mind. So he said, oh, we'll do it on Thursday night. And we're going to go to Northern Row downtown. And maybe we'll swing by the Logger House beforehand to say hi to the gnome during or before him recording his Drinking with the Gnome segment. We ran into some friends that were not the gnome and Julia, and Midwestern goodbye.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Quite a bit.
Which is fine.
It's the Midwest. It's what we do. We do the complete opposite of an Irish goodbye, which I didn't know an Irish goodbye is a thing. An Irish goodbye is you just get up and leave.
Yeah.
You don't say anything to anyone. You just get up and leave.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do that. My personality does not like my
That's something
the
your
years of training that I have does not allow me to do that.
Something like your mom would do.
No, like I have it, like memories of me as a child. Small Caroline knew. She figured out from a relatively young age, her and all her little friends, whenever all the parents got together and we were playing in the basement, they would say, okay, get your shoes on. We're going to leave. So maybe like 3 times 4 at the max, we did that. We put our shoes on and we got ready to leave. And then we stood by the door for half an hour while we waited for our parents to leave. And, I got to get this thing from the kitchen that I almost forgot to grab. I got to go say bye to Bob, whatever. So small Caroline learned, you don't listen to your parents saying that until they are in front of the door and they have their shoes and coats on and look like they have the majority of their things with them. Otherwise, you ignore them and you keep playing with your friends. The Midwestern goodbye has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, quite literally.
I don't know. Your mom lived here and she just got up from the table.
That's in the middle of dinner. That's a completely different thing.
We were in the middle of a conversation. She would just get up and like take out the recycling, like, or something, and just leave the house.
We literally cannot explain that. I don't know. She's got a quirk. She wants things clean. I will never do that.
No, she just like got up and left. Like, it just left, not even the room. Like, she left the house. Like, that seems very Irish goodbye to me.
Probably, maybe? I don't know. So we eventually find Julia because the gnome was Midwestern goodbying somewhere else. And we sit down at a table with Julia, hang out with her for a bit. And then the gnome shows up and he's like, oh, hey, I'm just setting everything up. And he proceeds to set up 4 microphones. And he's like, I'm just going to set up these mics. You guys don't have to get on them if you don't want to. It's like all 4 of us podcast. Like, we're sure we'll get on the mics. It's fine. And then he pulls out a butane burner.
Oh, man.
And a poker with like a marshmallow-esque metal bit at the end of it. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna poke the beers. We have not had dinner. Because the plan was to go to the Logger House, have a drink, like a singular drink.
I don't know that we had a plan, actually.
We didn't have a plan, and then go to Northern Row.
I don't even know if we had a plan.
About 45 minutes into us being at the Logger House, I knew we were not leaving the Logger House and going anywhere else afterwards other than picking up the kids. So yeah, we're in the episode of Drinking with the Gnome. I don't think he's posted it yet because he just posted the episode on Peppermint Schnapps. So we'll probably be next week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, 11 hours ago. Yeah, we had fun with Gnome and Julia poking beers, talking to Greg Hardman and Jim, insert last name here, not Cook, but Jim, who does the artwork for the Logger House. And we learned how to poke beers. And they were very tasty.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, you heat up the poker until it turns red hot, and then you slowly stir it in your beer. It's like a toasty marshmallow. It's so good.
So many jokes. Let's move. Let's.
I mean, that's the last of. I mean that, and then we rang in the new year. I don't know what you did. I slept. I did not make it to midnight.
The kids are being poopy heads, and I fell asleep at like 10 in Elliot's room.
And I think I fell asleep on the couch.
No, I think you fell asleep in the bed.
Me falling asleep on the couch is a different night.
This
is a very common occurrence in our house.
I think I did stay up. Did I stay up? No, I didn't stay up. When did we watch Jack Ryan?
I think that was the night we watched Jack Ryan. You definitely didn't stay up because I think I woke up at like 12:10 and I was like, what time is it? And I'm like, at some point after midnight. Happy New Year. Good night. And just fell right back to sleep.
Yeah, I binged the first season of Jack Ryan with
Yeah.
Jim from The Office.
AKA John Krasinski.
Jack, Jim, John, whatever. He needs more distinctive names, character names.
They all start with J. I know he has other ones, but for the sake of this argument, they all start with J.
I think that's all I got, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we had a very Merry Christmas. We didn't get the kids a ton of stuff. My mom got Elliot some dinosaur toys. She got Lily some Playmobil, specifically like a fairy princess castle and some unicorns.
Because she kept saying, I want a castle.
Lily did keep saying that she wanted...
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, a castle and a like a Cries-a-Lot doll. Because she has commercials on YouTube.
Your mom told her that she wanted a Cries-a-Lot doll.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that was her versus my mom. She did not get a Cries-a-Lot doll, though. But she did get a crib for all of her dolls. Though only like... Well, Elliot fits in the crib. Kind of. He tries. It's hilarious.
He hasn't done it in a while.
He hasn't done it since Christmas Day. But I thought that I was going to have to buy Lily a new crib to replace the one that her brother had broken less than 24 hours after she got it. So she got a crib, some clothes, some books from us. And then from Joe's parents, she got the plastic playhouse. It's a princess cottage, I think is like what the flavor is. It's pink and purple and cute. And then Elliot got a pickler triangle, which he is a huge fan of. And all he wants to do is climb up and down it, which is good for gross motor skills. Lily also enjoys climbing up and down it. My goal is to make the kids less clumsy than me, which is a pretty low bar.
You're going to make him extremely strong with upper arm strength.
The goal is to raise strong, independent children that still listen to their parents.
Yeah, he's going to be physically strong, not mentally strong. He's going to be stronger than us.
Yeah, so they had a blast playing with that. I had a blast assembling that Christmas Eve.
Which was not necessary.
It was not necessary. Elliot didn't know what the box was. It didn't have a pretty picture on it. He wasn't going to... It was just a box. It needed to be assembled.
He was perfectly fine with Lily's vanity set.
He was totally fine with Lily's vanity set that your brother and sister-in-law got him.
With real makeup.
Yeah.
With real fake makeup, I should say.
Yes, which was unnecessary, but Lily's has a blast with it, and I need to hide that before she gets home from preschool tomorrow. Because I did not do a good job of hiding it. And she found it today.
She found it?
Yeah. But the pickler triangle and the princess cottage are going to move to the basement of our new house once we move in.
Uh-huh.
And that's all Elliot's going to want to do, is hang out on that pickler triangle.
And we will probably be visiting Children's.
No, he does a really good job with it.
Anyway.
It's okay. It'll be 10 steps away from the wine nook. So you just grab a glass of wine and you'll be fine. Because our new house has a wine nook.
They took all that stuff, though.
No, the wine nook portion of it is actually built in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I think I got to repaint it because they took something off the wall that they had not painted behind.
There was a picture.
Yeah.
I think it was like a baseball picture. It was a newspaper clipping of like a baseball story.
Yeah. So I got to repaint it because they did not paint it where that picture frame was. But no,
that's like
the hardware of the wine nook is there.
That's like with you and that behind the stairs.
Behind the fridge?
Oh, behind the fridge, but on the other side of the stairs.
Oh, yeah, that spot that I missed. I'm going to work on that this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to disassemble the hardware for the gate and patch and paint.
Yeah.
I got to do that.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I think it's time to go to bed.
All right. That does it for this week's show. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Craft Parenting Podcast. You can also get a hold of us via email, which is craftparentingpodcast@gmail.com.
If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. Make sure to share the show. It's what helps our show grow. If you'd like to send us stuff such as fan mail, craft supplies, or sanity, we have a P.O. box.
And all this information is available on our website, which is www.craftparentingpodcast.com.
That's where we post the show notes, plus blog posts about some of the stuff that doesn't make it into the podcast.
And I am at Craft Parenting Joe on Instagram. Oh my God.
You just tried to list like 4 different social media sites, and 3 of them were wrong. I am at Caroline Creates Crafts on Instagram.
Okay.
And you're Joe.
Are you going to say our Facebook, though?
No.
Okay.
And I'm Caroline.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Caroline.
See you next time on the Craft Parenting Podcast.
Bye.